Okay, welcome everyone to our February team call. Welcome to our team training and inspiration tonight. So I wanted to kick off this call actually with 5 minutes of celebrating wins. So if you have a win from January, either put it in the comments or feel free to pipe up. I know we had Charity promote to Senior Gold. So yay for Charity. I know a lot of us are fresh starting. Do we have any fresh starters on here? Or if you did have someone that fast started, shout them out in the comments if you had someone go silver for the first time. Maybe you did win ALA, which is if you assigned 3 people, but maybe they didn't have 199 welcome packs. Whatever those things are, shout them out in the comments. Feel free to unmute. A couple things I wanted to say in light of shout outs, it doesn't always have to be, oh my goodness, I signed 10 people, right? It can look like maybe that you improved yourself in some way last month. You overcame a fear. Maybe something that you did to add value to people. Maybe you're just more focused on seeking ways to add value and love other people. Maybe you got to treat yourself or a teammate or your family to some sort of treat because of your Plexus income. Maybe you were able to give more because your paycheck was higher, so your time ended up being more. So whatever that is, shout it out in the comments. If you're unmuting for a minute, I'll say my one win. I had more than one win, but a big win for me was that I was scared to say yes to Super Saturday because I've never been a trainer for that. And I honestly feel like public speaking is not my forte, especially if I don't have notes in front of me. So that was very uncomfortable and scary for me, but I thought I didn't want to do it because I was scared, and so I felt like that's why I needed to do it. So go ahead and unmute whoever's willing to share while people are popping on and chime in. I want to hear. This will be fun. You have a win you want to share?
I do, but I want to wait and hear what other people have first.
Let me look at the chat.
I just want to say real quick.
She's Canadian, and she fresh started and went silver.
Yep.
If you're just popping on, we're just sharing some wins from January, celebrating.
Okay, I'll hop on since no one's saying it. Is somebody
700 PV and signed for 3 people. Amazing. Where do you go, Stephanie? Who else? Who else wants to share a win?
Can you hear me?
You can unmute too. Oh, Angie.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Yep.
Okay. So my team win for the month is my team jumped 231 points from December to January, which was huge. Super excited about that.
Yay! Way to go. That's so fun.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I was just going to say I'm super proud of my team. Several of them did their very first online event, and they were awesome. They were awesome. Super proud of them.
Hooray! Yeah, those online events are so fun, and they're really productive. What do people do? They feel honored, one, that you hosted and helped them, and 2, it helps them share with the people closest to them.
Stephanie didn't mention this, so I'm going to, because I know she was lifting her leadership lid and hosting some of those events. So good job to you too, Gary.
Yay, Brandy's talking about prepping for their first online event and how her people inspire her. That's a fun thing about the team thing, is that we get inspired by our people doing scary things or things outside their comfort zone, and seeing them do that helps us. I feel like it fuels us to be better, you know, and do things. Oh, I forgot my phone.
That's right. Okay.
All right. Okay, if you have some more wins, go ahead and put it in the comments really quick. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the time here. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. So super proud of everyone for January and everything that happened. I know a lot of you are really putting in the time, and maybe you didn't see a whole lot of like direct fruit, because a lot of times that happens in March. Like the things that we do now affects what happens in 90 days. So be encouraged. If you feel like you worked your tail off but didn't see a whole lot of like results from that, just know that you're just committing to the action will have fruit in a couple of months.
I wanted to do a shout out for the ones on the 10X Rule book study. Several of the people on that have really done a really great job of sharing a lot, and there have been several promotions of the people that have been on that book study. So way to represent. Karen and Vanessa and several others are just, Cassie have done a really good job on that. We've been being convicted on that book together, but it's producing fruit. So that was a huge win, I think.
Yes, and also I wanted to shout out the people that earned the Leaders Retreat. So way to go, everyone that did that. Let me see if I can quickly pull those people up. So Angie Ambrosetti, Cassie Johnson, Charity Bird, Gretchen Phillips, Hannah Levi, Jocelyn Pritchard, Jody Merritt, Kathleen Harbin, Amy Booker, Lisa Winters, Lynn Hauersile, Melody Detweiler, Molly Schultz, Stephanie Watt, Tammy Conacher, and Wendy Lawson. So congratulations, you earners. And I just wanted to say, if I happen to miss someone that qualified that I am not aware of, please PM me right away, because we need to get those numbers in and confirm to corporate for that tour and for the house that we rented. So excited. So proud of everyone that worked really hard for that. I also wanted to say a quote by John Maxwell that I read today. He said, don't count losses, count lessons. So if you worked really, really hard to hit a goal in January and you didn't hit it, I just wanted to encourage you guys that we're on a learning curve. Like, we're learning lessons. I'm learning lessons. Justin's learning lessons. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have to revamp the goals, or we have to reset the goals, or we have to not lower our target, but maybe up our productivity, or realize that sometimes we don't see the fruit from massive action in that first month. So just know that you guys are planting seeds and you're doing a good work. So a lot of you might know that we attended that 10X Growth Conference. So Justin's been hosting that book study on the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Super hardcore guy, but really, really valuable information in that book. I'm actually listening to it on audio. Haven't been on all the calls, but I just wanted to encourage everyone, if you haven't been part of that study, at the very least, get the book on Audible and listen to it, like when you're doing your workouts. Or Jake actually gave me an idea yesterday on my coaching call. And he said, prep before you do IPA. He said on his way to work, just to get his frame of mind right, he'll put on a podcast for like 10 minutes. He'll listen to Grant Cardone. He'll listen to some motivational business entrepreneurial type stuff, just to get the right frame of mind. So I thought that was such a great idea. And I wanted to encourage everyone, if you're not investing personally in your personal growth or your mindset, do it. Like, it's kind of one of those things that's as easy to do as not to do. And we really literally have such easy tools, because you can download it or stick a YouTube video on just to help get your mind right. Because I don't know about you guys, but my mind, if I'm not feeding it with God's word, affirmations, truth, encouragement, my mind naturally goes south. I get in a funk, I get negative, I get discouraged. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys with that. But we had kind of some big picture themes and also some small picture themes that we wanted to share on the call tonight. And one of the things that I was thinking about today, I feel like I'm kind of on overload from that conference we attended. It was absolutely phenomenal. Such good stuff. It was an entrepreneurial business conference with really great speakers, people like John Maxwell, Grant Cardone, Steve Harvey, just inspirational people that basically went from nothing. Like, Steve Harvey was living in his car to super successful guy. And they were just sharing their stories, sharing like their strategy of how they've been successful. But so we're not going to go over everything, but just kind of some major themes that stuck out to us that we felt like would be beneficial to all of you guys. So one of the first thing that really, I guess, inspired me was when Steve Harvey was talking, which I didn't even know. I didn't recognize his name, but once I saw a picture of him, I'm like, oh, that guy, the funny guy on TV. Before he came on stage, Grant Cardone happened to see his phone cover. I don't know if you guys can see. So he had like a wallpaper on it, and it was his vision board. So this guy's worth billions or millions?
Millions.
A lot of money. And he still has a vision board for himself, because he said, he used that scripture out of Proverbs. He said, without vision, the people perish. He said, if you don't have a vision, that means you're ready to die, because you need to have a vision. And I was just going to remind everyone, who made New Year's resolutions or some sort of goals for 2019? Did anyone do that in January? I know I did, and I wanted to encourage everyone to go back and make sure that you're looking at those, because it's really easy to set those things and then set them aside or lose your paper, right? Or not put it on your wall so you have a visual every day. But I wanted to encourage you to go back through and do that. I did mine where I have a mission, and I talked about this weekend. Do you have a mission? Do you have a mantra? Okay, so my mission for 2019 is to glorify God and add value to other people. I got that from Jen Hawkins' video in December. I thought that was so profound, just to like govern my mindset for 2019. And my mantra is joy, or my word for the year, right? So do joy now, that kind of thing. So anyways, those are my questions. When was the last time you looked at the goals you set last month? And do you have a mission? Do you have a mantra? And one of the things that he did is he has a vision board set on the back of his phone, like his phone wallpaper. And so I took time and did that today. This is going to be kind of hard to see. There we go. And I put pictures on of things that represented, I don't know if you guys can see that, things that represented my visions, my goals for 2019. That's something I hadn't done. Like, I'd written it down, but I didn't actually have pictures. So now I have a picture of our friend in Kenya that we're excited to help sponsor Bibles for Kenya, right? I have a picture of a teacup because I want to invest in my kids and do tea dates with them. A couple of other things that are important to me about like investing in other people's marriages, encouraging them. Our big goal to build a house this year. I mean, it can be what you want it to be, but make it visual. If you haven't done that, that was my takeaway from Steve Harvey is write the vision. My dad always says this, write the vision and make it plain. And so have a picture of your goals, not just writing it down. And I'm so visual anyways, that was really good activity for me. So every time I answer my phone or I pick up my phone, it reminds me of those things are important to me. And he said the two things when he picks up his phone to use it, that reminds him of, number one, God's grace, and two, his relentless pursuit. And I loved seeing his, but he had Chick-fil-A on there because he's really heavily involved with Chick-fil-A. He had the house that his wife wants. And I mean, just like sweet things. I loved seeing what was like on his vision board.
Africa. He had a picture of Africa, of what he's wanting to do there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so we wanted to just share. So that conference we went to felt very global. There was 35,000 people. That stadium was packed. And we see potential in Plexus. So here's where we started almost 4 years ago. And I feel like we're here. And I feel like we have so far to go in light of maxing our potential with this opportunity. And that, I mean, when I say we, that means all of us, not just like me and Justin, but every one of us. And we see huge opportunity for creating legacy, for creating just opportunities. And like, this is going to give us more opportunities, just having more connections, meeting more people, expanding our mindsets, and ultimately freedom. That's one of the things that I came away from that conference with, is like, get successful in every area. Like, the big mantra for that movement is 10x. Basically 10x your life, 10x your marriage, 10x your business, 10x your parenting skills, right? But a couple of themes that I heard this weekend was executors are few, meaning a lot of people have ideas, few people actually execute, meaning get into action. Conquer fears. You conquer fears by doing it, right? And if you're not scared or something's not feeling uncomfortable, that means you become complacent. Urgency. Over deliver. Take a risk and don't play small. Be the first, the fastest, the boldest, the best, and hustle. And I heard a lot in light of the success mindset that it takes work, like takes working your butt off. So like to be successful, it's hustling, it's working. And I think Justin should share how the opener of this convention started. It was really cool. You want to tell him about what happened?
But real quick, one of the neatest things for me is that I was really encouraged with all the speakers. One of the things I wrote down by listening to all the speakers is that success always has a backstory. So there was everybody that was on stage was successful in one way or another. It was a business conference, so they were obviously speaking of business success. But the cool thing is that each one of them overcame so much. Each one of them was down and out. Each one of them lost. Each one of them struggled. Each one of them overcame, and each one of them were victorious. And I thought that one thing I took away was that that's extremely encouraging to me, because that tells me that if they can do it from nothing and from failure and from one loss after another loss after another loss, and they were able to succeed in the areas that they wanted to succeed, that means I can do it. That means that success is available in whatever area of life you want it to be, whether it's Plexus or your marriage, your walk with the Lord, you're raising your kids, whatever, sports, whatever, plug in whatever thing you want to plug in, that success is available. And each one of those people were proof that it was. It was extremely encouraging to me. Another thing that was extremely encouraging to me is that some of the people that I've studied in light of business and in light of finance were in the crowd. They were sitting in seats that cost a lot more than mine, but they were in the crowd. And these people are, from a business standpoint, the one guy I'm thinking of in particular is a network marketer that I've studied a little bit on. He makes about $50 million a year. But the encouraging thing to me is he was in the crowd. He was taking notes. He was learning. He was growing. He was connecting with new people. He was bettering himself. And I thought, wow, that's incredible to me that, all these guys are still learning. They're still wanting to grow and to meet their potential. I thought that was extremely encouraging. And that's just one of the encouraging things I took away. But one of the things that I mentioned, the way that it opened up is that, so Grant Cardone's thing is a lot of times is you have to get attention. If people don't know you, they're not going to do business with you. So you have to gain attention. So at the beginning, the first session, we're wondering what's going on, but then it shows him on a Facebook Live in an airplane, and then we saw, the top of the stadium was open. We're like, and then we saw the airplane above the stadium, and he jumps out of the airplane on Facebook Live, and his parachute opens up, and of course it says 10X, the title of his book, on the parachute. So he wrote the parachute off, tax-free parachute. He has a parachute outfit on, 10X all over it. He wrote the parachute outfit off, as a business expense, and he parachutes into the baseball stadium. And I'm like, this guy is insane. Anyway, so don't expect any of us to be doing anything like that anytime soon. However, I thought it was just extreme. I'm like, that's how you get attention. That's how you bust through all the noise out there, is you just make things happen. So it was absolutely insane, but extremely encouraging at the same time.
And I feel like he doesn't just spout off to other people. He's actually doing those things, because his wife was like, man, you always seem fearless. And he's like, I'm not. I'm just doing it scared. And I act as soon as I get an idea. I don't let it give it time to get scared, right?
Right. So that was good.
Anyways, I thought that was funny. Okay, the next theme that I thought, big picture wise, that I have just been really learning about is the difference between scarcity and abundance. And I've seen it in myself. I saw it this weekend when we went to go pay. When we got to the hotel, he went and paid it, and was like, "Oh my word, Miami's expensive." And like I had to guard against that, because I'm like, I shouldn't be thinking of this trip as an expense, of it costing us. This is an investment in our personal growth. It's an investment in our business. It's an investment in you guys. It's an investment in our children. And so I took this away from what I think it was Grant actually that said it. He said, you can't grow your business by trying to save and conserve. And I know I grew up, I don't know if any of you others have grown up like save, don't spend your money, count all your pennies. But that's not the way to grow a business, right? So we have to think in terms, instead of thinking of terms in terms of cost and expense, to think more of growth, think of abundance, think of investment. And I've been hearing a little bit, and so it's this difference between an asset and a liability, right? You're pouring into something that's going to end up generating you more income. So a couple of things that I thought were applicable is, I don't know how many of you are familiar or are testing out this Dough app. So there's an app that Brooke Hemingway is teaming up with this guy named Darius, and a lot of us have been able to test that out, which has been super cool. And it basically feeds you your IPA every day. So it's making life simpler. You're not having to rustle through a bunch of papers or figure out who you're supposed to reach out to. Boom. It gives you 5 people every day, right? But it's going to be available, I think, in like 2 weeks to everyone to utilize. You just download your Facebook. You can download your back office, and it gives you your people to reach out to and follow up with. Yeah, the chats are going crazy saying, it is so amazing, so helpful. Busy mamas rejoice, busy people, working outside of the home people, guys, girls. Yes, right? Work smarter, not harder.
But yeah.
But I've heard a little bit of chitter chatter of like, oh my word, it costs $16 a month or $20 a month, whatever it's going to cost. But we have to view these things. Same with the retreat coming up and convention. Right. We have to view these things as investments in our business and operating from a place of trust, faith, and abundance. And I think, when we have the perspective that when we commit maybe to an event, right, that's a sign of commitment. That requires skin in the game. To commit to that app, buying that app means, goodness, I'm going to have to get a preferred customer to cover the cost, to cover the investment cost, right? And so I think, one of the things that I've been thinking about is, even in terms of convention, like if you guys are trying to figure out, can I afford to go? What is that going to look like? Investment wise in my business. But travel is such a privilege, and a responsibility, because it's almost like, I think of it as meeting of the masterminds. When you go to a convention, like it's just the sensory experience, like the music, the people, the energy, when that many bodies with the same like mindset and the same desire to learn and grow get in one place. Like you can't duplicate that sitting on your couch listening to a podcast. Like you just can't. And I'm growing, because I used to not care for the music and the lights. I like the lights and the music. I even start to, move a little bit. I'm kind of busting out of my conservative ways. You guys might have to hold me accountable a little bit, but I'm growing. I don't think in a bad way though. But let me mention one thing real quick about the Dough app. And So a lot of times we look at things, and I'm guilty of the same way, but look at things as we look at the cost, or we look at it as an expense, maybe $16. And we don't make anything off this Dough app either, by the way. No. I'm not trying to sell the Dough app to you at all. I'm just saying, if an app like that costs $16 a month allows you to get your IPAs done in 15 minutes compared to what used to take you an hour, then with $16, you just bought 45 minutes. You just bought time. Mm-hmm. So you either bought time to be with your kids, you bought time to be with your spouse, you bought time to double up your IPAs, you bought time to exercise, take a nap, whatever. So
a lot of times it's the way we view it and the words we use to explain stuff. So look at it as a possible investment rather than an expense. I was talking to a guy. We went to this hole-in-the-wall Mexican place and had like the world's best burritos. And probably an unsafe part of town, but it was worth it. It was awesome. It was an investment, right? It was an investment. But we met a guy who was at the conference from South Africa. His name was Neil. And sometimes I forget that 6 kids is a lot of kids, especially to people from other countries, because they just have a different perspective. One time, this is a whole other story, and then we'll get back on track. But I had to share this. One time, like a group of Asians like stopped our family to like take pictures. They were like, "This is insane! Like I've never seen it." So it was really strange. Anyway, Neil from South Africa. I'm going back to South Africa here, but Neil from South Africa said, "How many kids do you have?" I said, 6. He's like, "My God, man, how do you afford that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's because we can afford them because I view them as assets. I don't view them as a liability. I view my kids. I don't view them as an expense. I don't view them as a cost. They add value to my life. They give me joy. So that's the first way I afford them, is I don't look at them as an expense. And I think it's the same way a lot of times with our business, is that some of the things that can buy us time, some of the things that can add us joy and peace, it's probably worth the expense.
There's a quote that my dad has said for years, that you will be the same person this year as you are next year, except for the books you read and the people you meet. And I would add, in the places you travel, right? And Jessica asked me at the end of 2018, what were the things that added value to me in the past year? And I reflected on that. I was like, man, it was a full year. There was a lot of things that happened. But when I actually sat down and thought about it, it boiled down to the places I traveled, the people I met, and the relationships I had. Mm-hmm. And and the memories that we made. And when I think about, when we make the investment to travel, that in and of itself grows your business, because it grows you, it grows your perspective, it grows your network, right? Mm-hmm. And it grows your connections. And that was one thing they said at this conference, is this is a contact sport. The more connections you make, the more your business grows. I remember Jessica saying, you will naturally grow your network if you're out doing things, because that means you're living a fulfilling, happy life, and people are attracted to that, right?
One other thing about travel that has been encouraging to me is that every time we go, I probably met 50 new people this weekend and got 50 new cards or contacts, and 1 out of the 50 has heard of Plexus.
Oh yeah,
these are people from the Northwest, the Northeast, from Mid-America, from Missouri, from Florida, from all around the world. 1 out of the 50, and this is a pro network marketing group of people, and they haven't even heard of Plexus. So that's been one of the greatest things about. It's extremely encouraging when you go out and about and actually talk to people. Sometimes we get caught in our Facebook bubble, and we think, man, the market's tapped. No, it's just your network's tapped. Because we're talking to the same people 3 years in a row. They know what you do. But when you go and see new faces, new places, and you start having conversations, it's like, man, we're not even scratching the surface with this pink drink thing. So it's encouraging. It's been, I know, good for our business throughout the last few years to leave Oakland, Illinois. It's been good for us, been good for our kids. And another thing is, when we go on vacation, we're not really on vacation, we're on location. When we go places, man, it's like a mobile Plexus office. We don't unplug. That's when we get to work. And we meet people on purpose. We make connections when we're out there, and then we write the trip off. Mm. I'm just saying, it's just a business expense, because you're actually connecting, and you're actually doing work while you're out and about. So some things to consider.
Yeah, we wanted to share a little bit of our mindset and brain space on the income part and like the benefits. I know Grant Cardone is really very pro network marketing for the reason of tax write-offs. Really quick, we were also really bold this weekend about our with the people that we connected with. We were just saying, like, if I was talking to someone that was that I could tell was Spanish or Hispanic, I was saying, hey, we're looking for people to open Mexico. We're looking for connections in Canada. We're looking for connections in Australia. So when you're chatting with people, or you know people in your network that are from those countries, be connecting with them, because you want to get teams going there, right? And one of the exercises that Grant had us do, he had us get out our phones and go to our contact list. When was the last time you went to your contact list and made 5 phone calls? He actually made us do that. He did it himself from stage. The person didn't pick up, but it was scary. I ended up texting the person, and I don't even know how I knew them. But if you feel like Facebook, sometimes you're like, oh my word, I'm tapped, or not that you're tapped, but go to your phone contact list if you need to, go to your email list. I guarantee you there's people on there that you haven't reached out to yet. So we wanted to talk really quick just about this abundance versus scarcity mindset. Is, what percentage have you figured out a percentage to set aside for gifts or to inspire your team with? And this was something I was thinking of. It's like, people value it more when I do an incentive than when I promote something Jessica or Tamara does, right? But you, as a leader of your team, your people buy into more of what you are gifting your people than what I do. So when I was senior gold, I did this incentive. I tried a lot of incentives, and sometimes I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that many people to actually do the things. But this one time I'm like, team wide, whoever turns their goals in, I'll buy them a Plexus water bottle with the red ones. I don't know, I want to say like 50 people. Maybe
it was a bunch.
It was a bunch.
We had water bottles everywhere.
A huge box that I ordered. But what was good about that is, one, I was investing in my business. I was encouraging people to turn their goals in, right? They did that. But I was also using it from a marketing standpoint, and I didn't think of it then, but after this conference, I'm like, invest in your people from a marketing standpoint too, because then there's 50 water bottles that are marketing Plexus for your team, right? That's 50 more people having potential conversations because they're drinking out of a water bottle at the gym, and people are saying, hey, what's Plexus? So I just was thinking about that today. Also, use the corporate incentives. Right now we have Fast Start and Fresh Start going. So capitalize on that. And that means remind your teammates. A lot of people don't plug in, or they're not engaged, and so they don't remember, or they didn't realize that it went past the 14-day mark, right? Because all of us still have the opportunity to earn it by February 11th, because that's the 30-day mark from Super Saturday, and that needs to be everyone's goal to Fresh Start. So that means you have 3 people that you sign up with $1.99 welcome packs. So if you earned Fresh Start, sound off in the comments, because I know a bunch of you earned it, and some of you are really close to earning it. So that's something we really, really want to celebrate every single person for doing that. Okay. And remember, anytime you do an incentive, it's a write-off. And this is another thing in light of the investments that you will make in your business over the next year, is we're all going to be paying taxes. You're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year, and you all are going to rank up at least one time in 2019. I believe that. I know that because you guys are working really hard. And so my encouragement is, what percentage are you giving? That's something that to consider. If you haven't, prioritized a certain percentage of your Plexus income to give, or to, sponsor someone, or to be philanthropic, I would just encourage you to do that. Because if you're not doing it when you're silver, you're probably not going to be doing it when you're emerald. It's just a practice to get into, right? Like we teach our kids to start to do that when they're little, when they're making a little bit of money, and then when we make more, it's just a higher percentage that we're able to give. What percentage are you reinvesting into your personal growth? So that might look like, you buy a book on Amazon, or you participate in Bob Heilig's training course, and it's like $50 a month or something.
I would say too, this is something I haven't done. I've been encouraged lately to do it, is that when you set a goal, don't forget to reward yourself to some level. I mean, you don't have to, buy a Lamborghini or anything, but I mean, that'd be awesome if you did, but I want to ride in it. I want to drive it if you do, but But yeah, reinvest in yourself, reward yourself. And sometimes that drives people. Some people like rewards and awards, and so don't forget to invest in yourself or to reward yourself with a once you hit a goal or once you hit a certain rank or something. And don't be afraid. I'm just going to give you permission to invest in yourself to some level, whether it's personal growth, whether it's whatever it is that makes you or helps you to reset or to get some time to think or some time to reflect, whatever it is, don't be afraid to invest in yourself a little bit. I'm not saying, I think this whole like me time thing has gotten a little weird in the age we live in a little bit, but I think it's important to some level because I think everybody on this call likes to help people. I just think the quality of our team, the quality of all of us on this team, we love to help people. That's just the kind of it's the culture of one team. And I think that's great, but to help other people, we also need to be healthy. So don't forget to, as you're hitting these ranks, as your commissions are increasing, don't forget to invest a little bit back into yourself. Because I heard a speaker say one time years ago, it said, we cannot impart what we don't possess. And so it's important for us to be healthy, I think.
Yes. And so one of the things, I'm super excited for a retreat coming up and the fact that it's in Scottsdale. So that's like super exciting that we get to see the corporate office and get to meet a lot of the executives, the people that work there. But also convention is coming up in June, and you want to encourage your people to come. If they've never been, they don't know what they're missing out on. And it's going to be so fun. And like, I so regret missing my first convention. There was an opportunity to either go to Plexus Convention or another convention, and we opted for the other one. And I look back and wonder if it would have taken me as long as it did to rank up that next year. Because, I mean, I still was invested in my business. I was still committed to it. But because it's like when you get together with Plexus people, it's like Plexus therapy on steroids. So it's a small group, so you get like intimate small group coaching just by being with other Plexus bestie, your sideline sisters or brothers, whatever, or whether it's a group of thousands of people and you feel that energy in a huge stadium type of thing. I just think this business is so much of what's happening up here. There's a small percentage of skill set that we learn, right, as we do this business, but so much goes back to mindset. And I had to overcome all of that in my first year by myself. I mean, I was listening to stuff, but at the same time, what if I would have been there and been in that group, been encouraged, been given tools, enlarged my perspective versus having to do that all by myself, right? And when we affect our mindset, it affects our posture and it affects our confidence. And so I just wanted to encourage you all to be reminding your people to get registered for convention. And it's also an example that you set for your team when you attend events. And also it's so much marketing, because when your audience, when your network sees you attending a convention, they know that you're committed. They know that you're invested. And so it's an example of commitment, not just to your team, but also to your network. So, okay, I think that's all on that. Let's talk really quick about convention contest. Okay, we kind of already touched on Fast Start and Fresh Start. And I'm going to use a visual. Okay, this is lovely. So this is me at the top right here, and I'm going to sponsor this person. When you personally recruit someone, you get 20 points for convention contest.
Credits, Lynn.
Sorry,
credits,
points.
not points.
Not points.
Lynn corrects me every time. Every time.
Semantics are important. Okay. And then you help that person help a couple people, right? So then there's 15 points for each of those people. And the theme of this contest is rewarding. We're being rewarded for silvers. The last couple contests I feel like have been very customer heavy and PV based, and this one is not. Although I will say it's important to max your PV. Like you get point credits for 500 PV and 1,000 PV, not higher than that. So I would just encourage you to work on making sure you hit those one or both of those, right? And if you are trying to develop silvers, that's the key. Okay, even if you feel like, oh my word, no one's going silver, the act of trying means that you're developing them. Okay, because what you do now, remember, affects what happens in 90 days. And this contest is anyone's game because it's how it's structured. It will not be the people earning those top checks and the top prizes may not be the people with the biggest teams. I mean, because this contest is structured to celebrate the people that are duplicating. And so, for example, winner's dinner is 1,300 credits. So that means every month you need to be averaging about 325 points to earn that. We get more points by duplicating. And so the theme is duplicating silvers, right? And we have to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint, right? So it's just continue to chug along, continue to work on that. But also Super Saturday, you get credits for that. You got credits for that, I should say. Attending, and then if you listen to the live, there's credits that you received instead. Also, registering for Slim Down and completing Slim Down gets you points. So there's 200 points right there that you can accrue just by doing those things. Credits. Sorry, Lynn. Not points. Credits.
Credits, Lynn.
So there's the VIP experience. There's $50 for swag, and that comes in very handy because that Plexus Convention store is full of really fun things. And so when you have a credit that you can hand over, a little gifty card for $50 because you earned it. And it's so fun because you get to deduct that from your total before you pay. There's $150 cash, that's 800 credits. Winner's dinner is 1,300 credits. There's $700 cash, which is 2,100 credits. $2,650 is the black tie gala, and then the check, the $2,000 check is, I didn't write it down. More points, more credits. And then $4,300 is the top. And that's the $5,000 basically for whatever you want. But there's like, you can get it for a travel voucher, jewelry, like a techie Apple type gift card, or high-end furniture. So every single person I know is really working hard to get convention prizes. But also remember, all of us are going to rank up at least one time during convention contests, like everybody on this call, right? Whether it's silver or you're ranking the sapphire, right? That's going to give you a big chunk of points. Right. Justin has that pulled up right now, but that's, yeah, that can really increase your points a big time. And when people on your team are doing the same thing, then, I mean, that's just huge momentum, right? And one of the things I will say when you are, I would just encourage you to write down like 7 or 8 things that you're going to work on this month to help yourself hit those goals, right? So it might look like enrolling 3 people, personally sponsoring 3 people. And then if you haven't been developing silvers, maybe just have one person. Make it your goal to help one person go silver. If you've already been duplicating silvers, maybe make it your goal to have 3 people go silver, okay? One of the biggest things that's helpful is to host some sort of little event for people. I know a lot of us are doing that already, but that's been so helpful to increase the potential for them to go silver. And it could look like an in-person sip and see if they're close to you, or those little online events that everything's on the team page for that, or you just ask me and I'll add you to one that I've hosted recently, and you can literally schedule all the posts, copy and paste those. Okay, so keep doing those. And don't forget to go back through your wholesale people. People that have been loving their products, and just say, reach out and say, hey, I know you've been loving your products. I am super excited because I'm helping people this month share with just a couple of people. And I was just curious, like, would you be open if I hosted a little online event, or if they're local to you, like, would you be game if I bought my pink drink over and you just invited like 5 or 6 friends? And if anyone's interested in giving it a try, they can sign up under you. What are your thoughts? So when you host those events, you're creating momentum on your team. I'm
going to add one thing real quick. And from a numbers perspective, so 199 welcome packs before all this, whenever we just had the double triplex, was the only 199 welcome pack we had for a long time. And I hate it. I never shared it. One reason, I thought it was too expensive. And the other reason was I knew I wasn't going to get points the next month. So I never really wanted to push a 199 welcome pack. And maybe some of you can can relate to that. But I love the new $199 welcome packs that we have. I think they have great choices. You get points right off the bat. There's just so many things working together for those new $199 welcome packs. So like I said, you get great choices. You get a great value. You get points the first month.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. It works hand in hand with the Fast Start, Fresh Start program, which that works hand in hand with the Silvers, which help you on the convention. So it's like everything's working together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taken us a while, I think, as a company to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really exciting to me to watch how it's all, kind of working together. I'm excited about it. And I can honestly share $199 welcome packs now with confidence when I really wasn't able to do that before. So I'm pretty excited about that.
It was always a mindset thing for me, but now that I've realized that they're getting like a bulk order, like that welcome pack is discounted in a big way. It's like 38% off of retail price, or if they would like buy the product separately. And also they're getting a more comprehensive view of Plexus. There's been so many people I've signed up with $99 triplex welcome packs for people that want weight loss, because I know it stems from gut health. Because if their gut's not right, they're not going to sustainably lose weight. Even though they might feel better, a lot of people don't see weight loss in the first month or their second month of that, right? And so that $199 pack, I feel like with those shakes, with MetaBurn, with Block, and then they're also working on their gut health, like it makes so much sense. And I think also because of these $199 packs, you don't have to base your rank up all off of the previous month. How many people you recruited last month, and then what that translates into points this month. Because when your team is signing up $199 packers, then that qualifies you for points this month, and you can kind of do a countdown with your team off of new recruits. So that's cool. Did someone have a question? Stephanie, I saw you raised your hand. Did you want to unmute and ask a question? I don't know where Stephanie went. Okay, well, she might pop on. Okay. Alrighty, the next and last thing that I wanted to go over are the accountability calls. You guys might have seen a little bit of rumors about that. I know the Rubies and Above and I have been chatting about doing something like this. We did this last year for the first quarter of 2018, and I feel like it was really valuable to everyone, because how many feel like you're really good like the first week, and then you can kind of like not stay accountable to yourself and just let things slide? Anyone? So these little calls are going to be short and sweet but power packed. Okay, so they're going to pack a powerful punch. The girls that are hosting, there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 different calls going to happen. I'll have everything on the team page in the morning with the different times that you can plug into. And it'll be basically a 30-minute call that's going to go over IPAs. So we're going to have a requirement for IPAs that you do every day. We're going to discuss certain topics, so that it'll be the topic of the week. So whatever 30-minute call you pop on, that leader is going to be talking about the same. All of us are going to be talking about the same topic. Does that make sense? And so if you want to submit a topic that you would love for us to train on, go ahead and throw it in the comments really quick, because we want to provide training that will be relevant to where you guys are at. So feel free to put that in the comments. It'll be highly structured. It's only 30 minutes, but I feel like once a week, a little 30-minute call will be so beneficial, and it'll help you stay accountable to your goals. And we want you guys to commit. So even if your sponsor is hosting at a time when that does not work for you, where everyone is in agreement that they would be totally fine if you're not on Lynn's team, for example, and like the night Angie is hosting, you can totally make that work, then do that. Or if you're the type of person that loves multiple perspectives, pop on a different leader call every week just to gain their perspective. But we're encouraging you guys to stay accountable to your sponsors. So like if you can't be on a call for some reason, screenshot the work that you got done so that you can check that off your list, that even if you can't pop on for whatever reason, that you did check in with your sponsors. So There'll be some homework every week. So we're going to kind of base it off of the 511, which is 5 reach outs, basically what the Doe app is giving us. And you can 10x this if you want, if you have big, crazy goals. But just as a baseline, we're requiring 5 reach outs, one customer, 1 ambassador check-in, something like that. So we'll get all the details out tomorrow on the team page. So be inviting your teammates to this, because leaders don't just go the way, they show the way. So if you have someone on your team that's kind of interested and a little bit dabbly, or maybe you have someone on your team that's like, yeah, I want to get to gold. If I can get to gold and make $1,000 a month, that would like so help my family. Help them plug in, because it goes back to this whole Plexus therapy thing. When we can plug into community, when we have a sounding board to ask questions, when we have accountability partners, it'll help us all be successful and kind of raise that lid, raise our leadership lids, raise our productivity lids, and that's where we see good things happen. So that's all I have, guys. Who has questions? I'm sure I forgot to cover something. Feel free to unmute or stick it in the chat thread.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think was it Amy that made those beautiful startup graphics? So I would love if we could get a startup graphic for the new, or the $199 welcome pack. That's the variety pack or the weight loss pack, because those have been selling so great. It'd be nice to have just one thing, because I feel like with all the different products, it can tend to get a little confusing and overwhelming. But
Amy, would you be open to doing that? I was thinking that you had sent a couple more over that I put in that album.
I'm thinking I might have done those already, but let me check. I'll look. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just
but if I haven't, I can do it. But yeah, someone says they are out there already. I think I have done those. Check
the albums on the team page. There's a album specifically called Graphics to Save, and I try to put the updated things in there so that we can have a centralized location. I feel like I say that like at least once a week on the working on gold thread. People are like, where's this graphic? I'm like, team page under albums. Amy, thank you so much for making those. I've gotten such great feedback from the Jewels and Plexus saying, oh my word, she's amazing. Thank her, thank her, thank her. Who else has a question? Anyone?
As far as the Super Saturday credits that are going to be added to your convention contest credits, those aren't out yet. They're I saw at one point that they were supposed to be out at the end of the month, but they're not. They should be out after commissions post. So just to give you a heads up on that.
Mm-hmm. And really quick, next week is that 3-day blitz. I know some of you have teams, or you're teaming up with other people to do some sort of event. But if you don't have an event to plug into, there's 2 events hosted, and I'm going to kind of continue this theme throughout 2018, or at least that's my plan so far. One based around products, and then one based around the business. I felt like that business blitz went well at the end of January, so we're going to repeat that at the end of February. And then next week's will be just 3-day short blitz about just general products, and it'll be kind of Valentine's Day themed, so that will be fun. Get people on those trial packs. Jake did tell me, okay, you're not hearing it from me, but there's going to be some more trial packs coming out, and I want to do a 7-day challenge starting in March, just because like doing a slim and meta burn 7-day challenge I think would be really, really good. So definitely utilize those 7-day or the trial packs that are out now. And also top enrollers, Jake hasn't sent over who it was on the team that earned top enroller shout out list, but I will be shouting you guys out, and I'm also basing a call around you. Oh, you have it? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, Justin has it. Anyways, I will get those people shouted out on the team page tomorrow, and then those people qualify for a special call. And they get to pick a guest speaker. Usually I ask them who they would like to pop on the call, and that's been really fun and value adding. So just the fun thing too is that a lot of times it's different people on the call every month. So just stay tuned for that. I'll have that information out shortly. The Valentine's 3 days event is focused on all products, like a normal 3-day event. It probably won't be everything, because I feel like it's really hard to squeeze into 3 days without being like completely overwhelming. So I'll probably pick some to highlight, and then I might stick some stuff in the comments if people want to learn more about some other products or something. Or it's just kind of a teaser just to kind of introduce people, you know. And you can sell your, 3 sticks of Slim or little gifty sample packs to people. So don't forget that you can totally do that to help grow your business, to create some revenue, and help people try it so they can see if they can fit it in their life. So, okay. Did I forget anything, Carrie? Carrie's on. We're good?
Hey, Megan, it's Amber here. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I have a quick question about the convention credits. I had signed up for the Slim Down Challenge, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving working out and everything. I'm not normally a workout person, never have been in all of my 35 years, but I am now. I'm loving it. But I noticed my credits for the Slim Down Challenge, because you get 50 when you sign up, and then I think 100 when you finish. The 50 have not added on. Is that normal? I wasn't sure if when those credits would be added on.
I heard that they won't be added on until the commissions post or something this month, because I've seen people asking about that. I don't know for sure, but I can find out for you.
Okay, awesome.
So,
thanks.
Yeah, I think everyone's missing theirs.
I haven't received mine either, but I'll find out the answer to that. I'll have an answer for you by tomorrow for sure when those will be added.
Okay. You guys, thank you so much for popping on. Congrats on a great January. Looking forward to exciting things this year. How do you let them know that you have finished for the Slim Down Challenge? I don't know. Carrie, do you know? I'm not sure.
Look at in the back office. There's Slim Down Challenge FAQs. If you signed up, I know that they do a 30-day check-in. So they're supposed to be sending you emails, and they're supposed to be doing a 30-day check-in with you. And it shows stuff in there as far as pictures and stuff that you'll need to take and submit. So I'd refer to the back office to that frequently asked questions on the Slim Down Challenge. It's all in there.
Justin,
I signed up, but I don't know.
Yeah. Justin, I checked on it today just to find out for one of my people. And they said that when your 60 days ends, you will get an email, and that email will detail everything that you need to do.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thanks, Jan, for sharing that. It's good to have some in the know. Also, Monday night is going to be an ongoing book study. Justin's finishing up the 10X next week, and then we're going right into Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. So be promoting that to people on your team. Just because the more we learn and can know, the more successful we're all going to be, right?
Yeah, it's a really good book. It's about network marketing and just the kind of how the economy is changing compared to what it maybe used to be. It's a really helpful book, and it really helped me to get a bigger picture of how great Plexus is and how great the industry is. So he's not a real exciting in your face sort of author like Grant Cardone, but it's incredibly informational and educational. And it was just one of those, when I read it, it was one of the turning points for me with Plexus. So if you know anybody that might be interested in that, we'll be starting that a week from Monday. So
we also, Kevin Booker is hosting Happy Half Hour, and it's not on Thursday, so take note of that. Usually it's like the third Thursday of the month, but we're having to move it to Tuesday the 19th, and it's gonna be guy stories. So any guys that want to pop on, definitely keep those people in mind and be inviting people to that. We also have a team event in Tennessee, so excited to go hang out with Angie and Kathleen and Jan and all the girls
and David.
Oh yeah, and David.
Don't forget David.
That weekend. So okay, I think that's everything, guys. Remind your people and tag them in the Valentine's IPA. I did organize that yesterday on the flight home, so I think that's everything. All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks for popping on. Bye.
See you guys.